Today I'll be talking to you about the negative effects fertilizers have on our environment.
In January of 2020, the author Joe Wertz wrote an article titled Farming's Growing Problem, and in that article it states, scientists say that fertilizers are an underrated threat. I'll be informing you about the widespread use of fertilizers in modern agriculture and their negative effect on the environment. With using fertilizers, we've been using fertilizers for decades. They have many consequences and we need to be more aware of the harmful effects. We need to take steps in the right direction to prevent the harm of our environment and quality of our planet. First, let's talk about how fertilizers harm our waters. With the use of fertilizers, they create runoff, and that leads to our bodies of water. From the website, the United States Environmental Protection Agency, last updated on October 22nd, in Sources and Solutions, Agriculture, it says that nitrogen and phosphorus, when not utilized by plants, they are lost and can negatively affect downstream water. When water is contaminated, it creates a lot of harm to our wildlife and other ecosystems. Fertilizers too rich in nutrients can lead to depletion of oxygen and harm algae. Fertilizers are a huge harm to aquatic life. In August of 2022, from North Dakota State University, authors Mary Kina, Miranda Meehan, and Tom Schreier wrote an article, The Environmental Implications of Excess Fertilizer and Manure on Water Quality. They state that the dissolved oxygen in water can create a lot of harm to aquatic life, suffocating fish and other aquatic animals. Fertilizers have a lot of harm in waterways, but they can also affect our atmosphere. Fertilizers can create greenhouse gases, leading to climate change. In July 2021, on website Climate Portal, authors Karthish Mantharam and Elizabeth Ribkoff wrote an article titled Fertilizers and Climate Change. Inside that article, it states that the uptake in fertilizer comes at a cost, and that cost is planet-warming greenhouse gas emissions. These gas emissions come from fertilizer. That's a huge factor in climate change. Fertilizers create a lot of runoff into waterways. They have many side effects. In the same article, the applied fertilizers run off into waterways. They get broken down by microbes in the soil, and those release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Not only do fertilizers create runoff into water, but they get broken down into the atmosphere, into greenhouse gases, leading to climate change. Lastly, fertilizers have a lot of harm on humans. From North Dakota State University, the authors Mary Kina, Miranda Meehan, and Tom Schreier wrote an article, The Environmental Implications of Excess Fertilizer and Manure on Water Quality, in August of 2022, stating that the runoff of water, fertilizer creating the runoff of water through fields is high in nitrogen and phosphorus, and they contain high dissolved nutrients, creating an increased risk in contaminating streams, wetlands, and lakes. This is very concerning because they can contaminate our local waters and be very dangerous to groundwater. Groundwater is what we drink. Fertilizers lead to the depletion of nutrients. In April of 2018, Laura Buckler wrote an article, The Hidden Dangers of Chemical Fertilizer. She stated that fertilizers trade the fast growth for the health in plants, leading crops to have less nutrients. With plants having less nutrients, the humans don't get all the nutrients they need out of the food that we eat. Now knowing all the negative effects fertilizers have on our environment, let's go over what we covered. Fertilizers have been used for decades. They can cause many problems to our waterways. They can create greenhouse gases leading to climate change. They can cause many problems for humans. Fertilizers, the widespread use of fertilizers in modern agriculture have negative effects on our environment in many ways. I hope that after today, what I've told you about the negative effects of fertilizers, it can lead you to finding better and more reliable ways of using them throughout our environment.